Being the world's most unusual personality type is difficult in many ways. Simply said, the general public is not used to encountering such character. Even though it has been shown that Sigma men tend to avoid small conversation and big gatherings of people, they are frequently misinterpreted and even considered as wicked. They aren't always icy and unwelcoming. They may be among the most enthusiastic and dramatic individuals you've ever met. They're too different from the norm to participate in established social institutions. Men who identify as Sigma tend to be independent thinkers who like their own company. They have no desire to do what everyone else does or advance in their company's hierarchy. Instead, they are preoccupied with themselves and what they want. This might give the impression that they are uncaring or distant. However, this is only an issue of prioritization. Many individuals have strong feelings of hatred for male Sigmas, and I will list some of the most common reasons why. 1. When dealing with the Sigma, you can always count on them to be one step ahead. He was too timid to take advantage of this fact, and too preoccupied with cold reasoning to bother with any questions or complex emotions. Some of the most rational people you'll ever encounter are likely to be Sigma guys. Rather of being persuaded by their goals or emotions, they strive to maintain a neutral, objective stance. They may become emotionally distant to the point of becoming heartless. Why? Because in their view, emotions get in the way of rational thought. Sigma guys think it's best to put aside emotions whenever possible, since doing so will help you make better judgments. You should make choices when you are at ease or not emotionally invested in the outcome. The Sigma male's rational attitude to life might give the impression that he lacks empathy. While they do feel compassion for others, they may not express it as readily. 2. They are of the opinion that it is preferable to confront issues head-on rather than to allow them to fester under the surface. This style of thinking might make them seem to be troublemakers. They just want to get things fixed as soon as possible. Males of the Sigma fraternity are not intentionally disrespectful, but rather strive for eloquence in their expressions of emotion. They don't see the value in making idle chatter or exchanging niceties. That's why it's preferable to have your questions answered by Sigma guys. They will tell you how it is without trying to make you feel better about it. It's better to know the truth than to remain in blissful ignorance, yet this is still tough to cope with. The mix of honesty and loyalty they possess makes up for this flaw. Even if it's bad news, they'll give it to you straight. They aren't scared to put up a fight. The current situation is oak. Most people are content to go along with the current quo, whereas Sigma men will frequently want to change things or speak up for what they think is right. By going outside the norm, they may come seen as defiant or even troublesome. 3. They are able to think creatively and independently. Most people are content to go along with the current quo, whereas Sigma men will frequently want to change things or speak up for what they think is right. By going outside the norm, they may come seen as defiant or even troublesome. 3. They are able to think creatively and independently. Let's assume for the sake of argument that the current quo is frequently unfair or out of date. They have no problem telling it like it is, even if it puts them at conflict with those in power. It's something they're not worried about, however. People with a strong sense of justice are not afraid to go against the grain to do what they believe is right. This outlook has the potential to be both strong and poor. It's one of the things that helps them change the world, but it may also make them seem like troublemakers. The alpha males oppose them because they fear losing their status, while the Sigma men don't give a hoot about who's in charge. What they really want is to improve things for everyone. The authorities misunderstand this and so hate Sigma guys. It's the fact that 4, they're noticeable even without trying. This is true, in particular, for females. Males are generally seen as dangerous by females, the stereotypical dominant guys that thrive on limelight. Many dominant guys feel threatened by them and react negatively as a result. Sigmas frequently stand out without trying, which is ironic given how much they like to stay in the background. They may be reclusive, Yet their exceptional characteristics and achievements make them difficult to overlook even when they are above ground. That's why it's possible they come off as cryptic or mysterious. However, this is only due to the fact that they are introverted and like to stay to themselves. They may appear almost magnetic to the women who are attracted to them without understanding why. To set themselves apart, Sigma guys are not like everyone else and do not care whether they draw attention to themselves. They would rather not discuss themselves. They think they are being boastful or pretentious, but they really don't give a damn about what other people think of them. That's why you can count on them to be humble and self-aware. They are not icy recluses who want to keep to themselves, since their presence is felt throughout the day. Aside from not feeling any need to justify their actions, they also enjoy their personal privacy, whereas others may feel the need to justify or explain their behavior. In the mind of a Sigma guy, logic has no place. 4. They have a high sense of self-worth and are not bothered by having to justify their conduct to others. Some would see this as arrogance, but it's really just Sigma being confident in his abilities and not second-guessing himself. You can't stop them from doing what they want to do since they don't care about your opinion. While they considered your thoughts, they will act on their own regardless of what you believe. It's a bitter pill to take for some, particularly those who thrive on maintaining order and authority. The Sigma is uncompromisingly himself and refuses to conform to anybody else's expectations. They will not perform the work for anybody else since they place a high importance on their independence and freedom. Males in the Sigma group are not the social type that need or seek out frequent company. This may be seen as selfish, but it's actually simply how independently minded they are. Neither their ideas nor their sense of self-worth need the approval of others. Unlike other individuals, the Sigma male does not feel the need to broadcast his innermost thoughts and sentiments to the world. 5. They aren't the kind to display their emotions on their sleeve. They can off as unapproachable or even threatening because to their tendency to keep their ideas and emotions to themselves. It's easy to misinterpret a Sigma's motives when they keep to themselves. Since he can't always read minds, he prefers it when people speak to him directly. A good guy will not make assumptions about your state of mind. So if you want people to know anything, you need to say it. Those who are accustomed to persons who are more demonstrative emotionally may find this disconcerting. They care for the people in their life, despite how it may sometimes seem that they don't. The Sigma have a reputation for coming out as reserved or even hostile when meeting new individuals. They're simply being cautious. They don't mean any harm. They don't like being with other people and usually prefer to be alone. This in no way indicates that they avoid social interaction. The simple fact is that they get less enjoyment out of social interactions than the average person. 6. Usually, these people have a solid sense of right and wrong. Never be afraid to stand up for what you believe in, even if it means you're unpopular. Thus, their commitment to fairness ranks among their finest traits. They never compromise their principles or play by anybody else's set of rules. Young boys that identify as Sigma tend to care little about the norms and standards of society. They're the sort that won't do as they're told. They aren't necessarily defiant because of this. They are not hesitant to bring out the flaws in many established systems. They will not just go along with the status quo because that is what has always been done. They will ignore the opinions of others if they believe there is a better way to accomplish something. In general, this is a certain way to lose the respect of any and all superiors. But that's what sets them apart as successful business owners. The Sigma guy is a rule breaker in a world when everyone else toes the line. Ignore social status and authority. They just want to win themselves. The Sigma is the sort of individual who can succeed in a dynamic setting when most people would struggle to maintain their status quo. In the real world, Sigma is busy making things happen. The Sigma is not an adversary, but only a different kind of human. And in a world where everything is always changing, their outlook might be invaluable. 7. They find that working alone or in small groups allows them to accomplish more. They prefer to do things their own way, rather than according to the norms of others. Sigma guys may not be the most sociable, but they frequently have a keen sense of fairness and integrity. They are not scared to go against the grain in order to defend their convictions. Even if they don't actively seek out positions of leadership, they frequently excel in them because of their inherent leadership qualities. Even though they don't have the same social position as alpha men, Sigma guys tend to be respected more highly by their peers. Obviously, not everyone will respect a Sigma guy for his autonomy. Some people who are accustomed to going with the flow could find them threatening or bizarre. It's not always easy for Sigma males to feel accepted. Sigmas, if you look beyond the stereotypes, may be some of the most fascinating and motivational individuals you'll ever meet. 8. They aren't concerned about being accepted by others or gaining a lot of followers. While most individuals aim for social acceptance by adhering to the norm, Sigma guys couldn't care less about such things. Because of this, they may come off as cold or superior to others. A Sigma, meanwhile, could not care less about their reputation or the opinions of others around them. They are single-minded in their interests and unafraid to strike out on their own. Those who are accustomed to going with the flow may find this disconcerting, but it is precisely because of their apathetic demeanor that they are so fascinating. The fact that Sigmas don't follow the crowd makes them a target of hatred for many. Both alpha and beta guys dislike them because of what they stand for as opposites. The fact that some people like them doesn't imply that everyone else hates them. Actually, many people look up to and appreciate them, especially for their independence. However, this is by far the most prevalent cause of misunderstanding. Unlike other individuals, in their opinion, they don't try to gloss over unpleasant realities. Avoid ambiguity and just express what you intend. This honesty, although sometimes welcome, often leads to misunderstandings. As a result, the Sigma's words and intentions are frequently misunderstood, leading to tension. Even though Sigma man is not frightened of conflict, they would rather avoid it if at all feasible.